Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. My name is Nick.
I'm Ian.
Today we're going to be talking about whether or not we'll see a day when albums or records, full-length albums, aren't really the priority in music. There's a bunch of links down below. Make sure you go check them all out. There's links for the Vinyl Den Facebook group, for the Vinyl Den merch page. There's links for the Spotify and Apple Music playlists that we put together every week, and also the Patreon page. So make sure you go check all that out. Of course, if you enjoy the episode, make sure you give us the old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we release new episodes. Music has gone through a big transition over the last 60 years. When in the infancy of rock music, at that time, the late 50s or mid 50s, there was a big emphasis on singles. It was all about the 45. You'd turn on the radio and the radio would play 45s all day long. And then there was this transition quickly to the full-length album. And, over the last probably 15 to 20 years, we've seen this de-emphasis or emphasizing of the full-length album for more of a transition to more like singles.
Singles or EPs.
Singles and EPs. And now that we've been in this transition to where we are now, where the emphasis is on singles, and there are lots of bands out there that, it's a lot easier just to put a quick song together and release it on, Apple Music or Spotify or whatever, or even on something like SoundCloud, and get traction off that one track, and then spending all the time and money that goes into recording an entire album.
Yeah, I guess it depends. If you're in the studio already and say you're paying for studio time, I don't see how it makes sense to kind of put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. Because, you spend less money, but you have that one song that may not do anything. It may be a hit, it may not be. Whereas if you do 10, 12 songs, you pay a little bit more, but you have the potential for having a hit album, multiple singles.
Yeah, but the other thing is you got to remember is there's a lot of artists out there, especially like younger artists, that are just recording in their own little home studio in their bedroom.
Yeah, I think the single, and this was true in the beginning too, the single's really a good way to get your name out there. Whether or not that'll take over for everybody, I'm not entirely sure. I know there is some movement in that direction.
Yeah.
I've noticed a lot of artists are putting out, especially EPs. I've noticed a lot more EPs lately. But releasing several EPs over the course of a year, rather than maybe one album a year or one album every other year.
Yeah.
So, I think it ultimately will depend on how record sales, if physical media sales continue the way they're going, I don't see it changing.
No.
I
think that's the glue that's kind of holding it all together.
Yeah, it's the physical sales are really what's holding. If physical sales had never come back, we would already be in that state where people are just kind of putting out a song here and there.
Yeah.
Whenever they need a little revenue or want to get some, promote a tour or something, they'll throw a new track or two out.
Yeah.
But I think with and there's no sign that physical media sales are going anywhere.
Not right now.
Not right now. So I think in the short term or short to mid term, we're going to be fine. I think we're still going to get full length albums, or at the very least singles released throughout a year, and then a full length album release of those singles for the time being.
I think one of the factors that plays a big role in all this is how easy it is in 2022 to release music. Mm-hmm. Like I said, anyone can sit down in their house, put up a mic in their closet and record an album or record a song and put it out there. It's really easy. And there's a lot of artists that, especially through like SoundCloud over the last 4 or 5 years, they've gotten a lot of traction and actually gotten record contracts off of the stuff that they've self-produced and self-released.
Right. And with TikTok as well, doing it on TikTok, as we've done a video about, you should check that out.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother avenue that's even probably more popular as a platform than SoundCloud is.
Yeah.
So the potential is even greater there.
Yeah. I don't think this will be any kind of transition that you're going to see within the next few years. I'm talking over the next 10, 20, 30 years. I can see us getting to a point where, big record labels aren't really interested in putting the money, into a band, to put out that full length album.
Right.
All the money that goes into recording, and all the advertising and everything for it, when it's just so much easier for them to record a couple of songs and either put out an EP or just do singles themselves.
Right.
But I think you bring up a great point that something I've also noticed is there are artists out there that over the course of a year will kind of slowly release their album. Right. I know Mod Sun's been doing that over the course of the year so far. I think he's released 4 or 5 singles so far this year, and it's all kind of building up to whenever he's going to put his album out.
Right. Weezer's doing the same thing. They're releasing their, seasonal albums. They did a spring album, a summer album. I'm assuming they're going to do a winter and a fall. And at some point, no reason why they can't just put a package together.
Yeah.
That's the whole
thing.
The whole thing. Counting Crows, they did that EP Butter Miracle, and it's Suite 1. They're working on Suite 2. Theoretically, that'll be released as an EP and then released as a full package when they're both out together.
I think ultimately it really comes down to money. Mm-hmm. And it really is going to depend on what avenue labels, look at and think that they can make the most money off of, or maximizing their dollars. I think that's really what's going to determine what road we kind of go down.
Which, as of right now, I think legitimately it's surprisingly physical media.
Yeah.
So that's obviously going to be where
the margins are there.
The margins are there, and the margins could increase even because, like you pointed out, the cost of recording an album today is much lower than it ever was.
Absolutely.
10, 15, 20, and then 50 years ago.
Yeah.
The cost of an album back then was outrageous. So the margins, the profit margins are going to be greater, I think, right now anyway.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I get the feeling that even if physical media were to tend downward in terms of sales, there's still always going to be that little bit of market.
Yeah.
Plus, you're always going to have your audiophile people.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think the full length album is ever going to completely go away.
Right.
I think it's just going to be not going to be as emphasized as singles are.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, that's all we got for you today, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. Make sure you drop us a comment down below because I'd love to know what you guys think about this. Do you think we'll kind of get to the point where, these large full-length albums really aren't the norm anymore? So, let us know what you guys think because I think there's I can definitely see arguments on both sides of it for sure. If you guys enjoyed the episode, make sure you give us the old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. And that's all we got. Until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Keep on spinning. Peace.